Identity from Fill with Skill with the second episode of Hurtworld guides, which focuses on character progression and efficiency. By obtaining a wooden bow, your character reached Tier 1 equipment. Now the aim of course is to reach Tier 2, and in order to achieve that you will have to build a titanium pickaxe. This will allow you to mine the higher value ore. The gap, however, between Tier 1 and Tier 2 equipment is bigger than between Tier 0 and Tier 1. Therefore, we are going to slow down our progress a little bit to avoid devastating and time-consuming setbacks in case you die and lose all the materials which you gathered. In order to prevent this from happening, we will build a little base first, upgrade our tools to metal and make sure we have a secure location to store our resources and of course respawn safely where we want to respawn in future. Upgrade to metal tools whenever you see fit and have the resources to spare. First things first though. Start hunting wildlife and collect leather like a professional. The aim is to equip yourself with long sleeved shirts, a beanie, warm jeans and basic boots. Basic boots need one shaped iron, which you can obtain by placing iron ore in a normal campfire and replacing wood with coal in the fuel spot. The reason why I like to go for warmer clothes first is because of the decision where you are going to build your base. In order to be efficient and allow fast progress, I decided to build my base in the dark brown region, or simply stated region 3. I count the Noob area as region number 1. That is the shady grey brown area on the map. The second region is still within the same area, where all the little bunnies are hopping around and you see Bambies every now and then. And the third region is where it gets already colder. The animal wildlife in this area is mostly populated by boars, those poison-spitting raptors, and you already see yetis roaming around. Building your base in region 2 has the advantage of farming materials rather safely. Coldness is not an issue, wildlife not too dangerous, and you can easily hoard materials in your base. The downside of it is that in order to obtain the higher tier ore, you will have to run longer distances or build a second base in region 3, especially if you start hunting yetis. Just because I skipped this step does not necessarily mean that you should too. There's absolutely no harm in taking it a bit slower and building a base first in region 2 as a backup and preparing everything to move into region 3 with everything in your inventory to instantly build an outpost. Whatever you decide, your first goal is to build a totem. Once placed, it will allow you to respawn directly at it and not in the beginner's area anymore, which makes things so much more comfortable. Be however very careful on not getting infamous when you are at this stage, because if you get ambushed and camped at your respawn location, they can rob you clean. Once you get killed, you will respawn at your totem, and if killed again and you have a high infamous rating, you will start losing one item after another from your equipment and quick access belt. Place now a workbench nearby and create a construction hammer. Before starting to build up your base, you need to have two important points in your head. 1. The totem will only protect the ownership of your base and the base itself if it is placed in the same building squatter as the base is. Those are the little laser spikes around you when you have the hammer selected. When I built my first 4 walls, I accidentally built the base over those laser spikes on one side. The result was that another player was simply capable of destroying those walls, leaving me very frustrated and confused as what exactly is going on. Just to make sure we are on the same page, place the totem inside your base. If anybody gains access to it, they simply can authorize themselves on it and gain total control over your base. How to effectively protect your base against raids and advices on how to build it will be covered in a future episode. Second, of things to consider when deciding where to build your base are the surroundings. You should build your base only in an area where you have good access to wood and iron. Those are the absolute minimum requirements. However, it is far more efficient to search for a good spot where you have several different ore camps in your close proximity and especially a good amount of wildlife. I built my base near the container city and I have perfect access to wood, ores, jetties, wood and all kind of different ore spots. Take your time and search for the best available spot. The time you're investing now will decrease the time you will have to invest later on when gathering materials by running forth and back. Be aware that all points of interests will be heavily contested by other players to achieve territorial control and a monopoly on the spawning loot crates. Found this perfect spot? Good! Now place, as mentioned earlier, the totem and a workbench next to it and build a construction hammer. The construction hammer allows you to remove the workbench immediately and regain it in your inventory. Press F to access the build menu and select destroy object to be able to do so. This way nobody will be able to steal your workbench. Your first aim is to place a cement foundation and build 3 walls, a doorway and a door on it. Move your totem and the workbench into it and build a locker early on so you can leave all the gathered materials in your base when you move out to collect more. If you don't have enough resources for a locker right away, you can store some stuff in the workbench as a temporary and very limited solution. Your next goal is to expand your base a little bit. 2 times 2 cement foundations should be enough space for the beginning to work towards the tier 2 equipment goal. 2 advices are very important at this point and should be followed by you. First, never break down walls of the initial core room before finishing everything on the expansion. Place walls and a roof so nobody can access your resources. There's nothing worse than losing your loot because you made a calculation mistake and suddenly have a wall missing and somebody sneaks up onto you and ambushes you in the worst moment. Secondly, always, and I repeat as that is really important, always build at least 2 exits of your base and secure both exits with an airlock. Airlocks are the best protection against an ambush at your base, and all you need to do to build it is to have 2 doors before reaching the inner circle. If you don't have an airlock system installed, someone can camp outside of your base, kill you in the moment you open the door, and gain access to your resources and even your totem to bind himself at it. Double door security will protect you against it. Congratulations! You're on a very good way to tier level 2 and one step closer to the endgame content. Next episode will cover how to finish up your Titronium pickaxe and start working towards Modenium ore and equipment. If you find this video helpful, interesting, entertaining or whatsoever, please feel free to share it with your friends, ask questions in the comments below, and of course subscribe to the channel for further Hurtworld content. Thanks for watching.